This boy is about to explain something to all these students. He said that there are 4 paths branching out from the center of the classroom. They'll divide into 4 teams and start making a map. He tells them that they can use the symbols they agreed on earlier, or they can sketch it simply as long as it's understood. After 50 minutes, the bell will ring. Before that, everyone must gather back here. Each time they regroup, they'll combine the maps they've created. While the boy is explaining all this, we see that there's a dead man outside the classroom. The boy said that they'll repeat this process of going out, mapping the way, coming back to the classroom again and again until they create a map that'll lead them to the exit. Before starting, he warns them to never overexert yourself. He asks them to not even think about fighting back if they see a monster. If they sense anything even slightly strange, run away immediately. Then, they will all gather here to find a solution together. The most important thing is that they all should return alive. Right then, the bell rang and they all decided to start. Before starting, a boy looked outside the window and wondered how things ended up like this. This is the story of these students' survival, trapped in hell. A few days ago in Seoul, Do-Hyen's mom woke him up early in the morning to get ready for school. He also has a sister named Do-Hyen. Both brother and sister are in the same school and have decided to pretend not to know each other. After entering the school, Do-Hyen and his friends saw a place where many students were gathered. When they went there to take a look, they saw a black hole on the ground. It's a hole where if a person enters, he never returns. More than 1,000 people have already gone missing in these black holes. After that, a teacher decided to explain about these black holes. Black hole phenomenon. This phenomenon refers to the mysterious circular holes that have recently appeared around the world. According to investigations, the phenomenon is not affected by gravity. It extends from the sky to the underground. It can range in size from as small as a palm to large enough to fit a car. It appears without any consistent pattern. Despite humanity's efforts to uncover the cause of the phenomenon, the essential details, such as what is inside or why it occurs, remains unknown. The reason is that electronic devices that enter the hole break down quickly, and communication between the inside and outside is impossible. Because, to this day, not a single person who has entered the hole has never returned. The teacher also told a story about how 5 elementary school students entered a hole out of curiosity, but never returned. With that, the teacher asked them to be careful and ended the class. After that at home, Do-Hyen and his family celebrated their father's birthday with cake and gifts. The family was really happy until something unexpected happened. Next day at school, Do-Hyen was taking his classes like usual. But suddenly, everything outside the window turned black. When he looked outside, he saw that their whole school was getting sucked inside a black hole. After that, the news reporter reported that a high school in Seoul has been sucked inside a hole. She said that until today, they have never seen any hole of this size. Meanwhile, the parents of the students that were in the school are crying outside. The students who were outside the school, playing on the ground, didn't fall in. According to these students, a hole suddenly appeared and the school fell into it. The people who fell into the black hole, 512 students, 38 faculty members. The only ones that didn't fall were the 17 students who were on the field. Then, Do-Hyen suddenly woke up very scared and panicked. When he saw that he's completely fine, he thought that he just had a dream. But when he looked outside, he realized that it wasn't a dream, but his school really had fallen in the hole. The teacher is also here and asked the students if they are okay. The teacher asked everyone to check each other to make sure they all are safe. Right then, a girl named Seon raised her hand and asked the teacher about what is going to happen to them now. Hearing her question, the teacher decided to go outside to check the situation. Suddenly, Seon faced Do-Hyen and asked him if he saw it too. He thought that she was asking about the school being fallen inside the hole and answered yes. But she said that she's not asking about that. She said that the school has changed. When the teacher looked outside, he saw that the school was not looking normal. He wondered if his eyes were playing tricks on him and checked his phone. His phone had no signals, and he couldn't even make an emergency call. Suddenly, a girl appeared behind him. Meanwhile, Seon was explaining that when they were falling in the hole, she saw everything getting distorted. She saw things fusing together, disappearing, splitting apart, stretching out. It felt to her like everything was being reconstructed. On the other hand, the teacher faced the little girl and asked her who she was and asked her if she was hurt. Suddenly, she made a really creepy face and said to the teacher, "You were walking around during class." Saying that, she cut down the teacher's head, killing him in an instant. Seeing that scene, all the students got really scared and started panicking. There, all the students decided to run away. When a guy was about to step out, the class president named Youngwoo shouted, asking him to not go out. Hearing that, a girl grabbed the guy from his shirt and pushed him inside the room before he stepped outside. After saving him, Sujin asked him if he had a death wish. Then, Youngwoo asked Do-hyun to pick up the chair and told him to throw it right away if that monster who killed their teacher came inside. When that girl looked inside the classroom with a creepy smile, Do-hyun was about to throw the chair at her, but Youngwoo stopped him. He stopped him because the girl didn't enter the room. She just left with a smile. All of this happened in just 10 minutes after falling into the black hole. The teacher is dead. Seeing death in real life was nothing like seeing it in a comic or drama. The chilling hallway in contrast to the warmth of the classroom. The sound of bones breaking and being torn apart. The sight of the monster and the lifeless corpse. The overwhelming stench of blood. Experiencing real death firsthand fills all the students with unimaginable fear and helplessness. Some students wanted to do something for their teacher, but the only thing they could do in this situation was closing the door. Since not everyone saw the monster outside the classroom, Youngwoo explained everything to the students. The boy named John, even after hearing everything, started laughing. He couldn't believe that there's a monster outside of their classroom who killed their teacher. And that monster is the figure on their Korean textbook cover page. So Youngwoo tells him that he wasn't the only one who saw it. Many other students also witnessed it firsthand. In the end, John decided to believe him and said that if it's just a single monster, they should be able to kill it. He said it's as simple as a little kid, and it doesn't even attack if they're inside the classroom, so there's nothing to be scared of. He said that instead of just sitting here, they should go out and deal with that monster and find other survivors. Hearing him, some other students also started saying that John's words make sense and they should do as he said. After gathering the trust of some students, John said that they should start working on his idea immediately. But Youngwoo asked them to wait and told them that they should consider the worst-case scenario. There's a chance physical attacks don't work on that monster, or there can be many other unexpected factors. But John refuses to back down on his idea, saying that they have to do something in order to survive. He asked Youngwoo to bring a better plan instead of refusing to consider his plan. Youngwoo agreed with his idea of doing something in order to survive. But rushing into this without thinking will cost lives. They can't afford to have more victims. More than dealing with the monster, Youngwoo said that they should focus on finding a way to escape the black hole first. But John is still not agreeing to back down. He got up and said that they can't even leave because of the monster, so there's no point in finding an escape plan. He took a broom and asked the students who wants to be the bait. Raise your hand. He said that as long as there's a bait who'll lure the monster, he'll stab and kill it. Hearing John's words, Sujin called him stupid and reminded him that someone was cut in half in a single strike, and John's here talking like it's nothing. She asked him to act as bait himself if he wanted to lure that monster. Hearing all that, John came to Sujin filled with anger and asked her if she wanted to die by his hands. Sujin didn't get scared and asked him to stop acting tough and actually try killing him. Before their fight escalated, a guy named Sohun got up and said that he's done writing. He went up to the stage and gave his notebook to Youngwoo. When Youngwoo saw what was written in the notebook, he was shocked. In this notebook, Sohun has written away on how to survive in the black hole. When Youngwoo asked him, what is the meaning of surviving in the black hole? Sohun said that it's exactly as written in the notebook. He told them that they can return outside of this hole alive. He asked everyone to stop fighting and listen. To this day, people believe that no one has ever returned from the black hole. But Sohun said that there are people who have actually returned from the black hole. Sohun revealed that his uncle is actually a survivor of a black hole incident. There are many people on YouTube who claim that they have returned from the black hole, but almost all of them are fake. Hearing that, John went up to Sohun and asked him how they are supposed to believe that. Sohun simply answered that if they believe him or not, he doesn't care. But since they're already trapped, there's no harm in listening to what he has to say. With that, everyone returned to their seats and decided to listen to what Sohun had to say. To survive in the black hole, it's important to understand exactly what this place is. Number 1. The black hole is a place where everything except living beings is distorted. They have already witnessed a change after seeing that monster. Outside the classroom, it's no longer the school they knew. Hearing that, Sean asked him to explain this distorted thing more properly. She asked him about why class is unchanged and how distorted causes the monsters to come out of the textbook. First, Sohun answered her first question. He said that the moment they fell into the black hole, the closer something was to a living being, the more it retained its original form. Most likely, The other classes are safe as well. As for her second question, Sohan explained that monsters come out of the textbooks because it's not just physical objects that get distorted. Abstract concepts, too, are distorted. This school is a perfect example. All sorts of school rules, illustrations in textbooks, common school ghost stories, things that shouldn't exist in reality. All of these abstract concepts have distorted and manifested into reality. During the explanation, a girl named Nari asked everyone to look outside the window. Everyone got up and looked outside, and what they saw shocked them. They saw that their school was completely changed and turned into a horror maze. It was so complex that no one could tell where it began or ended. One girl got so scared that she fell unconscious on the spot. With that, Sohan asked them to sit on their seats, as he had many more things to explain. Number 2 in the list is those who have turned into monsters are hostile to humans, so avoiding them is the best they can do. Number 3, one day outside the black circle is 1 year inside, so they can't expect help from the outside world. Number 4, the food is not a problem in the hole, because the body is not affected by time outside the hole, so they can go years without eating. Skipping 1 day of meals equals about only 4 minutes here. In the end, Sohan asked them to understand their surroundings properly. He asked them to analyze and observe things as if they're studying if they want to survive. The final thing that Sohan uncle told him is that the exit is not on top, but at the bottom of the black hole. After that, everyone started telling each their plan in order to escape and survive. After some planning, Young-woo decided to explain everything. As everyone already knew, that area outside the classroom is a complete maze, so getting lost is very easy. To get out of here, they need an organized approach. So the plan they all come up with is creating a map. According to Young-woo, to stay safe, they'll form teams of 4, and during breaks, they'll draw maps to prevent getting lost. When class time approaches, they return to the classroom, and by merging all the maps together, they'll eventually find an exit. Hearing the plan, John spoke up asking Young-woo if he's sure this'll work. As Young-woo said that wandering out during class time will cause them to get killed by monsters, that means they can only move through the hallway during a 10-minute break. With that little time, they'll barely have enough time to return to the classroom, let alone explore. He asked him if he had even considered this problem. Hearing all that, the girl named Jun said that they don't have to worry about that. She said that they entered the hole during the 5th period class time. That's also when the monsters first appeared. If they assume that time inside the black home follows class time exactly, then not long after the first bell rang. That signaled the start of break time. During the break, they mourned the teacher. Sohan explained the black circle, and they experienced many other things. Then after all that, the second bell rang. If they arrange everything in chronological order, it'll make break time longer than actual studying time. Suddenly, the period bell rang again. This means that class time is only 10 minutes while the break time is 50 minutes. Even with the longer breaks, time is still a problem, because later when exploring distance will increase, returning to the classroom will become difficult. At that point, they have to either use another safe classroom that they'll discover eventually as a base, or change the place so that they meet at longer intervals instead of every class time. With this, they decided to wrap up their discussion. Young-woo said that it's still too early to head out, so they'll depart during the next break. Until then, he asked them that they should make thorough preparations. Time remaining until departure is 58 minutes and 30 seconds. Before going outside the classroom, they prepared thoroughly. They prepared weapons to fight against the monsters if necessary. Portable flashlight, also timer for checking time. These both things will be in their phone. Even though their school is in black hole, they can still charge their phone. Lastly, they have to form teams. Group A is Do-hyun, Seon, Choi, and Young. Group B is Young-woo, Sujin, Taehyun, Nari. Group C consists of Sohan, Jun, Sungji, Miji. Meanwhile, Jun is standing near the wall talking to his friend. He still can't believe in monsters and other strange things, even though he has seen them with his own eyes. This is Group D, Hyunjun, Yerim, Jun, Seo-jong. After some time, it's finally their time to go outside. This boy has decided to be the first one to go outside. Even though he was really scared, he finally showed courage and put his feet outside. With that, he was able to go outside without dying. After some time, their first departure ended, and now it's class time. Young-woo explained that when he went outside earlier to check briefly, he found 2 paths at each end of the hallway. There were a total of 4 forks. Since they're divided into 4 groups, each group takes 1 path and explores. Then, Youngwoo explained the map-making plan again, and now it's time for their actual first departure. With that, all the students went out to explore. Everyone is scared and wants to go to their mom and dad, but they have to take the risk if they want to survive. Before separating, Youngwoo was telling them to make sure to return to class before break ends. But Jin still was not taking the situation seriously. He ignored Youngwoo and decided to move on with his team. Like this, everyone went their separate ways. Group, it was moving together, sticking close to each other. The place is so dark that even with life, the visibility is short. Choi is really scared and is almost crying. He said that he'd rather die than explore this dark place. But Yang tells him that if they want to go home, they have to explore. She asked him that if he doesn't want to explore, he can go back to the classroom. But he decided to stick together. Meanwhile, Do-hyun was telling Seon to mark anything that she finds unusual on the map. After some walking, they finally see a light and reached a new fork in the road. They're thankful because these two paths actually have lights. Seon decided to look around more carefully because getting lost at a fork is really easy. Right then, Yang spots a creepy picture of a student on the wall. Immediately, she informed everyone about that picture. Meanwhile, group B have also spotted a picture of a student on the wall. After checking it, Nari tells Youngwoo that this isn't a problem. While she was checking that image, Youngwoo spotted another. This picture looks like a student who is running from some dangerous thing. Youngwoo looked around and saw that there are pictures of different students everywhere. Then, Youngwoo checked his timer and told his team that it's time to go back even though there's still 38 minutes left. Meanwhile, Group A has decided to go and check the picture on the wall. Choi is trying to stop them, but they don't listen to him. It's the same situation as Group B. When Do-hyun saw the path, it was completely filled with pictures everywhere. He suddenly spotted a pen on the ground. When he saw that, he remembered that it's the same mechanical pen that he had. This mechanical pen was not Do-hyun's, but it was his friend's named Jae-woo. Meanwhile, Group B has decided to go back because they have decided to prepare more before going forward. When Nari asked for the reason, Youngwoo said that he wants to listen to other groups about the situation because these scribbles give him a bad feeling. He thought that it might be a monster's doing. On the other hand, Do-hyun is shocked to see Jaewoo's picture on the wall, and the picture is not normal, but very creepy, like blood is coming out of Jaewoo's eyes, and he is looking really scared. But Daein didn't panic. He just said that it's drawing and decided to move on. In this hallway, there are 5 visible paths, and the path from where they came from makes it 6. Seon decided to properly update her map if they don't want to get lost in this maze. When Yang asked them which way they should go, Do-hyun said that they should follow the drawings. The reason why Do-hyun asked his team to follow the drawing, because there's a chance they might find Jae-woo at the end. Now, just Jae-woo, there's a chance they might find other survivors on the way. They still have 35 minutes, so there's a chance they might find them. After some walking, they finally learned something. They learned that every drawing has a mirrored counterpart nearby, and all the drawings they've seen until now are of Class 2 students. Seeing the situation, Choi started getting worried and asked them that they should go back, because there's no way these drawings just appeared for no reason. If they keep following them, according to Choi, something bad might happen to them. In the end, even though Do-hyun wanted to keep going in hope of finding Jae-woo, he just couldn't take unnecessary risks and decided to take his team back. When they were about to go back, they heard a voice asking if someone's there. That unknown person was asking for help. Choi immediately thought that it's a monster and decided to run in panic. Choi is so scared that he's not thinking about getting lost. He's just running. Seon said that if he kept on running, he might get lost in this maze. So, Do-hyun asked Yang to follow Choi, while he and Seon will explore. Yang didn't object to his orders. She gave a broom to Do-hyun and went behind Choi. At this point, Do-hyun is also getting scared because anything can happen to them. He gave a mobile light to Seon and told her to stay put while he'll go ahead alone and check the situation. He slowly moved to the corner of a new path, and there he saw a boy on the ground asking for help. When he went toward the boy, he saw something horrifying. He saw that half of the boy's body had turned into a drawing. Only his upper half was fine. The boy grabbed Do-hyun's legs and said that there's a monster that turned people into drawing. Hearing that, Do-hyun got really shocked because earlier he saw Jae-woo's drawing, which means Jae-woo is already dead. While he was stuck at a place because of the shock, a monster hand slammed onto the boy and turned it into a drawing. But for some reason, the monster didn't turn Do-hyun into a drawing and went into hiding again. In the meantime, Group was exploring their own route. While they didn't see any drawings on the wall, their path was a mess. Until now, these students were thinking that no monster would hunt them during break, but Sohan destroyed their easiness by telling the monsters also roam around during breaks. He explained that the first monster that they encountered had a rule that no one should roam around during class time. But this rule only applied to that monster. There might be other monsters with different rules. Until now, they have only figured out the strategy of one monster. So Sohan advised them to be careful. Meanwhile, Do-hyun finally broke out of his mental shock, and the first thing he saw was a monster hand folding a wall and going into hiding. Until now, Do-hyun was also thinking that his team would not get hunted by monsters during breaks, but he just saw one in front of him. While Do-hyun was completely scared with whole body frozen, he remembered Sohan advising everyone to observe and analyze the situation before taking any action. So, Do-hyun started thinking about why the monster went back into the wall without killing him. He has to do something quickly in order to survive and also make sure to keep his teammates safe. After considering and analyzing everything that happened to him and the things that he saw so far, he came to a conclusion. He threw a broom to the other side while praying for his prediction to be correct. Suddenly, the monster started moving and went toward the broom. With that, Do-hyun concludes that this monster can't see and only follows the sound. Do-hyun came to this conclusion by remembering and using what he experiences so far. At first, he didn't think that sound is the answer because previously, Choi let out a scream and they also made sounds here and there, but that monster didn't attack them. While analyzing that, he remembered that the student who turned in a drawing in front of him was saying that the monster is not around because it went toward other students to turn them into drawing. This means that earlier, the monster was far away because of which it wasn't able to hear Choi scream. But then it came back after hearing the voice of the student who had just turned into a drawing. With all this, he concluded that this monster only follows the sounds. He went back to Sian and immediately asked her to not make a sound. While she started asking questions, he just told her that he will explain everything later and asked to not make any sound. They were slowly walking back with Do-hyun praying in his mind for the monster to not follow them. But suddenly, Sian accidentally let out a scream after getting startled by seeing a broom on the ground. Because of this, the monster came back to hunt them. They sprint away from the monster at full speed, but the monster is almost caught up to them. When they were about to turn into a drawing, Do-hyun suddenly got an idea. He played a notification sound on his mobile and threw it toward the monster. This caused the Monayer to stop and turn the mobile into a drawing. Because of Do-hyun's plan, they both barely survived by an inch. After eliminating the source of sound, monsters no longer attacked them. After that, using Sian's phone as a flashlight, they followed the map to go back to the classroom. Meanwhile, Yang is sitting with Choi, who has run away before. Yang was calling Choi a coward and was asking if he's going to run away again after getting scared. Hearing that, Choi apologized to Yang for running and told her that he'll never run away again. At that moment, both Do-hyun and Sian also caught up to them. But when Yang saw both of them scared, she asked them what happened to them. Do-hyun didn't answer and just started crying while touching Jaewoo's drawing. Because now it's confirmed that Jaewoo is dead, they can't do anything. As Choi was also a part of their friend group, he also started crying after realizing what happened. In the end, they reached the classroom 5 minutes before class started. But the situation in the class is also very grim and sad. It turns out Group D has left one of their members named Yerim behind in the hallway. Group D member Jun is just smiling and completely careless, and behind him Hyun is standing showing no emotion. Right then, Team B members Nari and Taehyun came back tired. They went out to find Yerim, but they found her nowhere. In the end, Youngwoo said that they'll look for her in the next break and just hoped that she had found another classroom to stay in. When Yang asked why she didn't come back, Team D member Seo-jong points at John and called him a murderer. She said that he also tried to kill her and demanded that they kick out John and Hyun immediately. Hearing that, Soo-jin, who already hates John, also started talking, saying that she already knew that John will do something. She said that if Yerim didn't come back, John will be marked as a murderer. Seeing her blabbering, John was about to step up to shut her up, but before him, Hyun went forward and asked her to stop talking nonsense. In the end, they decided to explain what happened. Team D didn't do anything unusual. John just talked bad about Youngwoo and some other classmates while exploring around. But the annoying part was Yerim never stopped crying. To stop her crying, John said that if she kept on crying, monsters would come and kill them. Hearing that, even though she lowered her crying voice, but she still kept on crying, calling for the teacher. So John didn't bother talking to her, and kept on moving forward. It turns out when their teacher died, Yerim was sitting on the first row, and she saw the monster with her own eyes. That's why she's really scared and crying. But John just laughed at her and didn't believe that there really was a monster. After some walking, John didn't do anything unusual and just kept on exploring and looking around. But Yeren crying didn't stop, and this was making him really annoyed. Right then, they spotted a restroom. John asked her to go in and wash her mouth, but she refused to enter, saying there might be a monster inside. So to make sure she stays safe, John opens the door with the broom that he's holding. He entered the restroom and checked all the doors one by one. In the end, they spotted nothing unusual, but the one thing they missed is the mirror. Inside the mirror, there are all 4 Team D members visible even though no one is standing in front of the mirror. And they're looking very creepy and scary. After checking everything, they left Yeren alone inside the restroom and went out. John asked her to wash herself properly and then come out. When they were standing outside the restroom, John asked Seoyin why she was outside. As she is Yeren's friend, she should at least stay with her to comfort her. But Seoyin didn't listen and just said that they are not close. John tries to tell her that in times like this, they shouldn't care if they are friends or not and just help each other. But he wasn't able to act like a good boy and just stop advising her. Meanwhile, inside the restroom, Yeren put out her glasses and washed her face. While washing, she saw her creepy self inside the mirror. She wasn't able to see properly because she wasn't wearing glasses. But when she wore the glasses, the Yeren inside the mirror dragged her inside. It turns out that John and his team left standing guard in the restroom and went on exploring. After some time, when they returned, John called for Yeren to come out as she's inside for more than 10 minutes. When Yeren came out, she had a creepy smile on her face and was also looking different. But until now, no one has noticed that Yeren has changed. When John put her hand on her shoulder to ask her what she was doing inside for 10 minutes, she started saying random words. Seeing that, Hyan dragged John back without wasting a moment. Then, he pointed the broom at Yeren and asked her who she was. Without answer, Yeren started chasing them with a creepy smile on her face. So to protect themselves, John hit her with a broom. But that didn't do anything. Yeren got up again without taking out her creepy smile and immediately started chasing them. After some running, something weird happened. Yeren suddenly was blocked by an invisible wall. It turns out that real Yeren is still inside the restroom on the other side of the mirror. When the fake Yeren moved outside the restroom and followed them, the real Yeren also moved inside the restroom. And when the real Yeren hit the wall, the fake Yeren was also stopped by a wall. But the fake Yeren didn't care. She kept on hitting the wall again and again, while the real Yeren was also forced to smash her head into the real wall. This causes her to bleed heavily, which most likely killed her. Even as they went down the stair to come back to the classroom, they kept on hearing the sound of someone banging their head against the wall. With that, they arrived at the class, and this also concludes their story of what happened to Yeren. Hyan said that even if they wanted to bring her back, they couldn't do it. And Hyan is sure that if anyone other than them would have been in that situation, they'd have done the same. I think Sujin is a really dumb girl. Even after hearing the whole story, she still called them murderers for leaving Yeren behind just because she acted strangely. Even John is getting pissed. He asked her if her ears are not working properly, or she wasn't focusing on listening to their story. He asked her how they could bring someone who was banging their head into thin air. Then, Hyan gave them one more piece of information. He said that while Yeren was outside the restroom acting strangely, there was another Yeren inside the restroom as he heard voices coming from the room. It turns out that no one is believing Group D's explanation because they still think that Monster will not find them during break. So, Do-Hyan and Seon explained everything about the monster that they encountered. With this new information and Hyan's story, it is highly likely that they are not lying and didn't abandon Yeren on purpose. After hearing everything, Youngwoo faced Seojong and asked her why. She said John tried to kill her. And just listen to her testimony. She said that John also asked her to stay in the restroom with Yeren. This is it. This was her testimony. Even though she also knows that at that moment, they didn't know about the mirror monster or anything like that. She still thinks that John did that to kill her like Yeren. Hearing her testimony, even Youngwoo realized that she is just behaving like a pig that she is, and told her that according to her story, he didn't do it intentionally. After that, the break time arrived again, and this time only some students went out to check the restroom. But when they arrived there, it was locked. Because of that, the class's atmosphere reverted back into fear and hopelessness. Everyone thought that they can't even go out safely during breaks, and concluded that they can't survive. But they have to do something in order to even have a chance of surviving. Hyunjun was really shocked and confused to see that the door of the restroom is locked. He tried to open it using force, But that also didn't work. Seeing the scene, Sujin accuses them of hiding something. She said that he intentionally led them to some weird paths. Hearing her, Hyunjun got really angry and asked her to shut her mouth if she didn't want to get it distorted. They were about to start the fight, but Taehyun stopped them, reminding them that they're here to find Yerim, not to fight. He asked Hyunjun if this is really the right place, and Hyunjun answered yes. He said that next time they'll bring Seojong with them to confirm it. Hearing that, Taehyun looked toward Jongwo and asked him what they should do now. They checked the time and saw that there's still 40 minutes left until the break ends, so Taehyun suggested that they should try to find another route. Everyone agrees, and they spend the rest of their time mapping different routes. As they walked, Jongwoo remembered John suggesting to them that they should just kill the monster if it attacked them. But at that time, Jongwoo refused to go with the suggestion and gave his own idea, that was map making. Remembering that, he wondered if things would have gone differently if he had gone with John's idea. Right then, Taehyun appeared beside and asked him if he's blaming himself for what happened to Yerim. Asking that, he reminds Jongwoo that if it wasn't for his idea, half of them would have already died in the hallway from start. Taehyun asked him to stay positive. He assumes that Yerim locked the door herself and went to different routes. Before the break ended, Taehyun and others came back to the classroom and told them everything. When Jongwoo revealed that the door was locked, John got really shocked and confused. Some students started blaming him and Hyunjun for leading them to different routes to hide something. All this made John really mad. He didn't even do anything, but everyone is blaming him and Hyunjun for losing Yerim. While the students were making assumptions, Jun from Group C came to Jongwoo and told him that she had thought of something. She explained her theory to Jongwoo and some others. She said that the first monster that they encountered acted according to the school rule, no walking around during class. And the monster group Amet was one that attacked based on sound. Jongwoo heard that and asked her why it matters. Jun questioned if that monster was really just following the sound. If so, what twisted it with the art textbook? She asked him if there's really something at school that just follows sound. She wrote something in her notebook and showed it to everyone. The monster that follows the sound has the rule, silence in the hallway. If they stay quiet in the hallway, that monster is most likely not going to follow them. Seeing the pattern, the other rules have also most likely become a monster. Jun said that there are lots of school rules, but the one they really need to pay attention to right now is the rule that says no entering other classes. Saying that, she asked Jongwoo if he understood what she's trying to say. Jongwoo thought that no entry to other classrooms is a variable. When they only considered the Korean monster, they thought they just had to follow the class rules during class time. But now there's an additional factor to consider. If Jun's hypothesis is correct, the key point of the map-making plan, the movement between strongholds, becomes impossible. Going down to the lowest floor within 50 minutes is impossible. So if they can't enter other classrooms, the possibility of escape becomes zero. Jongwoo thought that when Sohun first said that all the rules would be twisted, this should have been something thought about. He called himself too complacent, thinking he made a major mistake. He doesn't even want to imagine what would have happened if they had entered another classroom without knowing this. He thought that he almost got everyone in danger. He blames himself for losing Yerim. He thought she was just following his map-making plan and eventually fell behind. Right then, Do-hyun walked right beside him and said that it doesn't seem like all the rules have turned into monsters. He mentions that they ran really hard in the hallway. According to the rules, they're not supposed to run in the hallway. Saying that, he points toward John, who is smoking cigarettes. Of course, John is breaking the rule at this moment, but no monster came to attack them. As soon as Jun saw that, she realized that her assumption was too far ahead. Suddenly, Jongwoo remembers Do-hyun telling him that when Choi made noise, the monster wasn't nearby, so they were able to outrun it. Remembering that, Jongwoo thought of something. He decided to take this conversation a step further. He questioned whether some of the rules turned into monsters, or did most of the rules turn into monsters, and asked if there's a reason why breaking doesn't cause problems. Soyeon answered that the first one seems more plausible. Only some of the rules turn into monsters, because until now, they have broken many rules. Jongwoo agreed and said that when they entered the black hole, the break time and class time got swapped. So the chances are that the rules that had to be followed no matter where you were in the school have changed to only apply near the monsters. Jongwoo said that if the monster that killed the teacher was near them, it would have tricked them into thinking they had to follow the rules no matter where they were. Then, Jongwoo said that even if this assumption is correct, there are still many variables to consider. But at least, the restriction that they always have to follow the rules disappears. And if they get out of here, or at least if they can figure out that the Korean language monster isn't nearby, they should be able to move during class time. Jong-woo's hypothesis was based on only one solid sample, so they couldn't be certain. Even if it were true, there were still many variables to consider. However, what the class needed was the courage to step outside the classroom again. Jong-woo's hypothesis, which could slightly lower the hellish difficulty of escaping, sparked new courage in the students' dried-out hearts. The gloomy mood, where they thought they'd never leave the classroom again, thanks to Jong-woo's words, they began to regain their spirit. Of course, the fact that there was little hope of being rescued, even inside the classroom, also played a role. And so, they decided to go out of the classroom again, starting from the next break time. 20 minutes and 38 seconds remaining until departure. Everyone in the classroom accepted that Yerim decided to believe that the locked door meant the survivors from other classes had joined together, because otherwise, the endless sorrow would be too much to bear. At this moment, Nari from Group B made up her mind to stay strong. She said that now she'll only think of escaping. Seeing her filled with energy, Taehyun tells her that she doesn't have to go that far. Hearing that, Nari hit Taehyun's broken arm and asked him what he means by not going too far. Suddenly, Taehyun's expression changed, and he said that he has lost all feeling in his arm. At the same time, other groups have also made up their minds to stay strong. After some time, the bells rang, and all the students decided to go out. As they left, we learned that there was a change in the groups. Seo-jong took the place of Soyeon from Group A, and Soyeon joined Group D. They did it because Seo-jong was shouting, refusing to go out with Group D, Hyunjun, and Jeon. She is worried that they might leave her behind like they left behind Yerim. Bro, this fat girl is literally a pig. I think she is just here to ruin our moods. Mark my words, she will become the biggest obstacle for these students. As they were walking, Do-hyun heard that Seoyeon was laughing with a creepy face, but he just ignored her, hoping for nothing bad to happen. Then, we learned that due to the series of incidents, everyone's caution had reached its peak. Through vigilance, talking was minimized. When possible, they typed on phones. If any strange sign appeared, they immediately returned to the classroom. By prioritizing safety, everyone was able to survive. Third exploration begins. Nothing had changed from the second exploration's principles. This time as well, everyone returned safely. Fourth and fifth, the map-making plan was progressing smoothly. No, it only seemed to be progressing smoothly. As caution increased, the pace of progress slowed. At that slower pace, the distance students could cover was very limited. Unfortunately, there were no other classrooms with that range, so they had to explore faster and more boldly with each departure. Since it was directly tied to their survival, it was hard to speak up. And so, amid everyone's anxiety, the seventh exploration began. Suddenly, a loud shout was heard from a student of some other class. At the same time, a student was standing in the middle of the hallway, shaking. In front of him, a strange monster appeared. Seeing that monster, the student started running away. Suddenly, the student was pulled toward the monster, and everything went silent. Before the seventh exploration started, Sungji looked outside the window and cried out that they're still at square one even after exploring for hours. He said that they can't go on like this. They should hurry. Hearing that, Miji suddenly appeared behind him and said the same thing, which scared Sungji. He asked her to not scare her like this. He's already feeling so tense. Miji mentions that there's no one who's not feeling tense. She said that she's so exhausted, she could die. Sungji saw her and asked her to not whine like this. Suddenly, he remembered that Miji was also whining earlier. As Sungji started mimicking her, she tried to hit her, but Sungji dodged her. Right then, Sajin walked past Sungji. He called her from behind to tell her something, but he couldn't say what he wanted to. So he quickly changed the topic to mop that she was holding. It turns out that Sungji wanted to confess his feelings to her, but he couldn't. With that, the seventh exploration started. After they left, Sungji suggested that they should stop communication through phone typing because it's too much of a communication barrier. He said that there's no monster on their side like the Group A said. Thinking that the monster didn't appear in front of them even after 6 rounds, they decided to remove one safety measure, which was communication through phone typing. Another safety measure of theirs is that they will throw an object after walking some distance to check for wall-folding monsters. Everyone agreed with the suggestion and started moving forward at a fast pace. 7th exploration. It sounds like a lot just from the number. 6 explorations completed, including class time, about 6 hours. 2 hours spent before even starting the first exploration. plus 2 more hours to go find Yerim and rest during the first period. It's already been 10 hours since they fell into the black circle. The extreme caution they had moved with was already 5 hours ago. Maintaining a hyper-alert start for 5 straight hours was like torturing the body. Increased heart rate, blood vessel constriction causing high blood pressure, reduced blood flow to the brain causing dizziness and headaches, repeated with every exploration. The armor of caution, so carefully maintained, was slowly falling apart, worn down by fatigue and lack of results. After walking for some time, Group C was really tired. Even if they walked faster than usual, they just saw endless hallways. After resting for a minute, they decided to go back to the classroom. But as they started walking, Sungji felt something from behind. He walked back again to check what he just felt. After reaching a split way, he asked Sohan to give him a water bottle through text message. Receiving the bottle, Sungji threw it to the dark side, and after seeing no reaction, they decided to move forward. While walking, they noticed that this place was darker than other routes. After some steps, they found the water bottle that they just threw, but it had fallen on some strange liquid. As Sungji and Miji were inspecting the bottle, Sohan moved the flashlight toward the rooftop. And as the light hit the roof, Sohan saw something really creepy. He saw that the whole roof is filled with the faces and bodies of different students. Before Sohan could tell anyone about that, Sungji noticed something. In front, Sungji noticed a classroom door. Miji also checked it and immediately called Sohan and Jun. Jun didn't immediately follow them because Sohan suggested that they should head back. But Miji didn't listen to them and decided to check at least once. She threw the water bottle, and after seeing no reaction, she and Sungji moved forward. But as soon as they took a turn, they saw a monster with a flask head standing in front of them. At this moment, they have 27 minutes left until class time. It was a series of misfortunes. A body and mind worn out from reckless exploration. Monsters they've never seen directly for 10 hours, and that gave rise to growing boldness. Extremely limited visibility in the dark hallway. Checking for safety within known data. In reality, it wasn't much help. As they both saw the flask monster, they couldn't move an inch. At the same time, Jun asked Sohan that they should also follow them. Hearing her, Sohan pointed the light to the roof and asked Jun to see that and decide on her own. She looked up and saw the scared and terrified face of other students made out of smoke. Everyone reacts differently when facing fear. Some people stay calm, assess the situation, and act. Some freeze completely, both body and mind, unable to think. Others act before they even think. Group C had made several plans to respond in case of encountering a monster. But when Sungji saw a monster for the first time, he used the reflexes developed through training and immediately sprang into action. He threw the mop that he was holding toward the monster and started running away. The monster easily deflected the mop and then raised his arm towards Sungji. Suddenly, Sungji stopped moving and got pushed toward the monster. He tried to grab Miji, but that didn't help. Seeing the scene, Miji let out a loud shout that was heard by Sohan and Jun. When Jun took a step forward to go and see what happened, Sohan stopped her and reminded her that it's dangerous. He mentions that she's dumber than he thought. He asked her to give him the map because he has decided to go back. Jun looked at him for a moment and then ran off after giving him the map. Meanwhile, Sungji floated toward the monster and got pushed into the flask entrance. He tried to break the flask, but it didn't work. Inside the flask, the fire was burning, and that fire slowly melted Sungji and turned him into a liquid. Next, the head of Sungji came out from the monster's arm and floated toward the roof like smoke. The liquid that was made fell to the ground from the other arm of the monster. Miji was really scared and couldn't move. Right then, she heard a whisper from Jun and moved her head. She tried to tell Jun everything that happened, but she was so scared that she couldn't talk properly. Because she can't talk, Jun asked Miji to show one finger if yes and show 2 fingers if no. Telling her that, she asked Miji if the monster was still in front of her. Miji showed 1 finger, which means yes. Then, Jun asked her if the monster was moving, and she showed 2 fingers. Next, she asked her if it's attacking. Miji showed 1 finger in response. Seeing that, Jun asked her if Sungji was okay. This time Miji showed 1 finger. This doesn't mean yes, but she's pointing toward the roof. As Jun moved her head to see what's on the roof, Sohan appeared beside her and blocked her view. Sohan tells Miji to not sit there like an idiot. He asked her to remember the school rules if she wants to survive. Miji was about to tell him about the monster, but Sohan stopped and angrily asked her to get up. Miji slowly got up holding the wall, and immediately after she did that, the monster took a step forward. Seeing that, Miji got really scared and started crying. She told Jun and Sohan that the monster had started moving. Sohan didn't care about that and asked her to remember the school rules. When Miji couldn't remember the school rules because she's really scared, Jun advised her to think about what Sungji did that made the monster attack him. She tried to remember, but her mind went black. Suddenly, Sohan grabbed Jun's hand and left the place. He asked Jun to forget about Miji. They themselves are short on time. As he said that, Jun forcefully freed her hand, and while crying, she asked Sohan to go back alone. She said that Miji is someone they can still save. Hearing that, Sohan checked the time and saw that there's only 15 minutes left. Then, Sohan came back to Miji with a dark expression and told her that they can't do anything to save her. She has to figure out what to do herself. He asked her to recall the rule that Sungji broke if she wanted to survive. Immediately, Miji used her brain to remember what Sungji did. She noticed a mop on the floor and tried to remember what Sungjar did after throwing that mop. She finally remembered that Sungji tried to run away. She told Sohan and Jun that after Sungji started running, the monster immediately attacked him. Hearing that, they assumed that running must be forbidden in the hallway. Without taking any action, they asked Miji to remember if there's something else. Miji answered no and noticed that the monster had come really close to her. Now, they don't have time to think further. So Sohan asked her to start walking toward them slowly. As Miji slowly walked toward them, nothing happened for a few steps, but then suddenly, Miji's expressions changed. It turns out that the rule wasn't related to running, but it was related to science experiments. Do not play or leave your seat during experiments. Seeing Miji getting pushed away, Jun immediately ran to grab her hand. At the same time, Group A was walking in the hallway. Until now, nothing special happened during this exploration. While he was thinking if they should go back, Wang Yun slipped on the floor. Luckily, he didn't get hurt and asked others if this slope was always here. Do Haiyan checked the slope and mentioned that this slope wasn't here before. They decided to mark this location on the map and decided to head back. Meanwhile, something was bigger happening in the classroom. After they returned, they saw that both Group C and D hadn't returned to the classroom.